There's a young woman that made a claim about Petco in Iowa City, Iowa. Now, she stated that she went inside of the Petco and that she's a dog trainer herself, and that one of the workers was abusive to her racially and put her out of the store, and the police showed up and threatened her with trespassing charges if she came back. So she posted a video to Facebook Live. Let's go roll the clip.
Wanted to take a second to talk about something that happened to me tonight and has been happening for a couple months now here in Iowa. I live in Iowa City, Iowa. The only Petco that we have is in Coralville. And being a dog trainer, it's important to me to bring the dogs out in public, working on public work, being respectful. I always bring dogs that are ready for public work. And for the past 2 months, I have been harassed at my local Petco. Tonight was another night where racial slurs were used. And I wanted to reach out to my friends on Facebook to hear what you guys have to think about this. It's hard for me because I work hard for what I do. I've always been respectful at Petco. I'm a paying customer. I also refer a lot of my clients to Petco because I do like their environment. They bring in people who have dogs who typically aren't trained, so it works really well for my dogs. It does. It works for the dogs that I bring because it teaches them you focus on your handler. Don't focus on the dogs that are being naughty. Don't pull stuff off of the shelves. Don't, eat the dog treats that you smell. So whenever I bring dogs in there, they're always trained. I never deal with barking dogs, going in there. None of my clients are like that. But for the past 2 months, the employees at Petco have been extremely disrespectful to me, and I've done nothing. I'm always respectful. I use my manners. I say, excuse me, and they've used racial slurs. Tonight, they called the cops on me. I walked in with Onyx, very calm and controlled. We were working on foosing among distraction. We came at 8 o'clock. They close at 9. I came at a time where there's not a lot of people. Because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to be a nuisance. I don't want to be a distraction. I brought Onyx in. She was foosing, attention healing. As soon as I walked through the door, the employee came up to me and she said, "You need to get out." I said, "Excuse me, why do I need to leave?" She says, "We don't allow people of your kind here." I was so upset. I'm sorry, I was so upset. I kept my professional face on. And I said, okay, and I kept walking. I wasn't going to leave the store because I didn't think that was a law for people just to say, oh, we don't allow your kind in here, you have to leave. So she called the cops. The cops came. I was continued to be respectful. I told them I'm Chelsea Montgomery. I work for Null Heart Kennels and Training Academy. I train service dogs, therapy dogs, and this is one of my protection dogs in training. I put Onyx in a plot. She laid in a plot. She did not disrupt our conversation. She was calm and controlled. I was a little threatened. I was threatened because I was the only African American in the building. The cops that came in were Caucasian, and I was a little offended because racial slurs had already been used. I felt like I was being targeted. I came in. I was calm, cordial. I didn't do anything wrong, and because this employee decided that she did not like me because of my race, I had to leave the store. They told me that it is their policy that they can refuse the right of service to anyone. So I was the only person that was asked to leave. I was the only person who was asked to leave. Now, I had called corporate this morning. Because, like I said, this has been going on for 2 months. I bring my clients there. We work on public work. We work on loose leash healing, not paying attention to distractions, all of it. And this was my final straw. They called the cops on me, and I had to leave the store. They said I cannot come back. If I come back, I will be fined for trespassing because I'm African American. That is not okay. That is not okay. I am hurt. I am heartbroken. I send my clients there for supplies. It is the only Petco we have in this area, and I use Petco for my dogs, For my service dogs, my therapy dogs, it's important to me that they can handle those tough situations, and Petco's the perfect place for that. So I did call corporate. They said that they will get back to me. So I will be contacting some other organizations, the Civil Rights Commission, my lawyer as well. I just want to thank you to everyone who has supported me as a trainer, especially a young African American trainer, because this is my passion. I love what I do. I love working with the dogs. It is my natural talent, and I get to help so many people. I get to help so many people and change so many lives. And because I'm African American, I have to leave. Because of a racist employee, I was asked to leave. I've been nothing but respectful in there. I spent a lot of money. Onyx was very polite. She was doing all of her obedience. She was not distracting anything. She was foosing. She was doing a beautiful job. And because of one person today and multiple employees in the past who have come up and harassed me, I was asked to leave by the cops. So, I just want to thank everyone who supported me and, encouraged me to pursue my dog training business. And it's sad that this is 2017 and that I had to leave a store that I pay hard-earned money for because I'm African American and because she's allowed to say racial slurs and everything else. And because of that, because of how one employee feels, because of one employee's thoughts, I had to leave the store. And my dogs were not able to get trained tonight at Petco. My clients are affected by one racist person, and that is not right. So, once again, I thank you to everyone who's encouraged me and supported me through this, and I will be pursuing this. This is not right. I don't want any other person, trainer, customer, young person, no one should have to deal with this. No one should have to feel different because of their race, especially someone that comes in and is polite and cordial. I did not do anything wrong, but because one person's racial thoughts, I had to leave Petco, and the cops were called on me. So, I just don't think that was fair, and I will be pursuing this. So, thank you, Corville Petco, because this opened my eyes to what your business really is. If you have a policy that says that they allow the right to refuse anyone's business just because, that's not right. And I will be pursuing this. This is not right. My dogs are affected tonight. My clients are affected tonight. And most of all, I'm affected tonight. That was not right. That was unfair. It was very unprofessional, unethical, and there was nothing that I did wrong. I remained polite even when being harassed. My dog remained polite even when you harassed me. But because of the racist employee, I had to leave, and the cops were called on me. And if I return, I will get a trespassing fine. Unless I get a letter from corporate that says I'm allowed.
Now, as I fully looked into this story, this woman is a dog trainer. She owns a business called Nallhart Kennels and Training Academy. Now, she said that she goes to Petco a lot, I guess to get supplies or to tell her clients to do certain things. And they said that they called the police because the police chief said they got a call that they wanted her out of the store because she was soliciting her business. She said she wasn't soliciting anything. Now, I'm going to say that she probably wasn't soliciting anything, but let's say she walking in with her dogs. Her dogs are highly trained. People see that. They'll go ask you in those kind of stores, who trained your dog? And you probably say, well, I own my own business. I do dog training. And, since they're so impressed, they may say, well, what's your card? You have one? And then you get a card, exchange information. And maybe she's picked up clients while going into the store. Now, Petco have their own dog training services, and maybe their dog training services isn't good as this sister's dog training services. So they're pissed off about it because she's taking business away from them. Not her fault that she's maybe good at training a dog, but that's probably how that went down. Now, she said that they called her a racial slur. She was very upset about this. The police chief stated that all they knew about was the call about her soliciting a business and she needed to leave. They didn't know anything about the racial slur part. She didn't say anything to them at the time period. That's just what their statement is. We're not saying it didn't happen. We're just saying that's what they say. But as she explained that all the people in the store were Caucasian, the police officers were Caucasian, she'd never been treated that way. Now, she comes from a family that has 2 parents in the household. The thing is, why her parents didn't teach her that the country you live in, you possibly going to deal with that. So let me prepare you, daughter, to deal with that stuff. Obviously, they couldn't have, because she was just so oblivious and shocked to it. Second of all, now mind you, it's the same state, Iowa, that Representative Steve King that said we can't build Western society on somebody else's babies. Same guy, the one who's blatantly racist, come from that area. Iowa doesn't have a lot of black people there anyway. So you kind of looking for trouble in some of those areas. But also, she's in a relationship with her guy, and I'm kind of curious to why he hasn't came out publicly and to defend her. I'm not saying he's in agreement with anything. I'm not saying that he's not disgusted by it. But why isn't he came out publicly? Because I also saw the news clip of her, and she's by herself talking about this. He's not standing with her. He's not saying anything. It's just absent. And why is that? She have him all over her Facebook. You know, he has her all over Facebook, profile pictures and everything. But when your woman is attacked, no matter what the thing is, you're supposed to come out as a man to stand up and defend and be alongside your woman. I mean, I thought he would have came out condemning everything about the racism, but yet we didn't hear anything from the guy. And I thought that was quite strange. And I've stated this many times before, that what we go through in this nation as black people, make sure whoever you with can relate to that. Because yes, somebody can sympathize with you, they can empathize with you, but they don't know about our experiences. And you just had experience, young sister, 22 years old, that we all have. And I don't know how you felt when you went home and told him about this, but if you stay with him and have kids with him, you're going to deal with that. I'm pretty sure you get looks and stares, but you probably didn't really pay much attention to it. You're probably going to pay a little bit more attention to it now. And then also you stated that you was bothered a lot of times. Why you kept going back to that store? You need to have some pride within yourself to not allow people to disrespect you like that. You can order whatever you want to order online now, from any pet store you want to. You don't have to go in those people's store if they're the only one in your area. What I'm saying about this situation is, don't allow people to disrespect you. Whoever you with, they need to recognize your struggle. And this is why I've said many times that do what you want to do in your life. Pick whoever you want. That's your business. But I have to be with somebody who can at least relate a little bit, period, or relate wholeheartedly to what I'm going through. Because I couldn't come home talking about what them folks got going on and nobody can understand it, the woman I'm with. I just couldn't do that just as a man. And then also on her page, when I was looking it up, who was attacking her the most? It was Caucasian people. It was nobody else. Attacking her constantly, calling her a liar, saying she's trying to steal from Petco. And all this stuff I'm watching on her page, her mom came there going back and forth with a racist calling her didn't do nothing and all this other stuff constantly. So how does she really feel now she's having racial experiences when she said all the Caucasian people? Of course, not all the Caucasian people hate her or Caucasian people are racist toward her or anybody else. Not saying that. But what I'm saying is she having an experience like this, and then she go home and talk to the guy about it she's with, and he can't relate to that. That's just something that we always have to consider when we date anybody or get in some sort of relationship, and especially marriage. It's just a reality. The race issue with us is something that we got to deal with, period. So your mate is going to have to be able to relate either by experience or relate in some way, form, or fashion. When you're with people who can't relate, it's kind of hard to explain stuff to them. If you enjoy the news and information from this channel, help us stay alive by joining us on Patreon for a minimum of $5 per month. We are trying to get to our 3,000 patron goal. where we will be free of the attacks of the mainstream media. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Share the video, like the commentary, and subscribe for more news stories.